Reunion outside of the Malanga Center of the Arts.
We are part of the rank and file, those women that you don't hear anything about, don't know about.
Let's get into the inner workings and the meaning of this. Let's get into the inner workings and the meaning of a black revolution and why black people have a right to take what's theirs. You can read the platform in the program, and it's a basic program, and it simply says exactly what black people have been crying for 400 years. One, we want freedom. We want power to determine the destiny of our own black communities. Two, we want full employment for our people. Three, we want decent housing fit for shelter of human beings. Four, we want an end to the robbery of the black community by the white racist businessman. Five, we want decent education that teaches us about the true nature of this racist, decadent system, and education that teaches us about our true history and our role in the society and the world today. Six, we want all black brothers to be exempt from military service. Seven, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. 8, we want all black brothers and sisters held in federal, county, state, city, jails, and prisons to be released because they have not had a fair trial. They've been tried. They've been tried by all white juries who have no understanding of the average reasoning man in the black community. Number 9, this is where Brother Huey is being caught. We just want the courts to make sure we have peers on the jury of people from the black community as defined by their jive constitution of the so-called United States. 10 is a summary with a major political objective. That is, we want land, we want bread, we want housing, we want clothing, we want education, we want justice, and we want peace. The major political objectives, we want a black plebiscite. The UN, the black colonial subjects will participate, dealing with, analyzing, projecting politically upon the racist atrocities that have been committed against black people in this nation.
Interview with Miss Ethel Paris, who came out here from all the way from Pennsylvania to experience the 40th anniversary of the Black Panther Party reunion, which we were both a part of, and this is a proud sister. I was proud to serve with her in the party, and it's always a good time.
Okay. This is the first house that me and Regina rented. We rented an apartment right on the second floor. When we first came to Oakland in 1969, 68. Yeah, Mom, you remember when I went to California?
Yeah, I remember.
And you ever put me that luggage?
Yes. Yes.
And you didn't know that we was coming back?
No, I thought you was coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm telling you, if it wasn't for my mom sending me that $100 that you sent me, I would have came back. Because I was starving. Trying to, Regina told me how she was going to, we had made a plan that she basically got her job first, she would take care of me and vice versa.
Oh, that's what it was?
And then what happened was that Regina got her job first, and then she had us eating tasty cake pies and soda, drinking soda. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I thought you was just going there for maybe a day or so and coming back.
Okay.
It was a long time before she got back.
Yeah, because Regina didn't want to tell her mom that she was going
Uh-huh.
to stay. I didn't mind telling my mom because I was able, because I mean, being out of high school, you kind of gave me a lot of freedom to do what I wanted. So I felt as though I could have told my mother if I was going to stay or not.
Right.
Well, the first breakfast program was right in there.
Okay.
Next to their name and address.
No, I don't think it was here though.
I do.
Because I did the first, my first one was at the church.
Just for getting an
Yeah,
insurance
I think
quote
the
at
church one
AAA
was the
branch
second
office.
one.
There's
I
no
think this one was the
obligation.
first one.
And if you sign up for a new
You know,
insurance
because the breakfast
policy,
program
you
was
get
born in
$50
East Oakland.
card.
This is the
That's
first
$10 or
breakfast for
$60
school
worth of
children
gas
program.
for you.
Bobby Seale made an announcement that we were going to have a breakfast for school children program started in Oakland. I was hooked. The San Francisco Chronicle ran a article in their newspaper, and that morning I can remember during the week I went up to my boss and told my boss that I would be late every day because I was going to the breakfast for school children program and showed him the article, and he just accepted it. I had no doubt he was going to accept it because I was going. So eventually I just stopped going. The work was terminated and I became a full-time Panther. Yeah, and then when I came back and came back home, I remember you saying something about that I went away and I was such this pretty girl and I came back and
Yeah, she was so beautiful with her hair and stuff. I didn't know what that was when she come back here.
yeah. And as far as politics, me and my mom didn't really agree on too much.
No,
You
we
know.
didn't.
No, we didn't agree on it. Because when I came back, I kind of like was trying to talk about the Black Panther Party. And
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear nothing but no Black Panther Party.
She didn't want to hear any of it.
None of it.
And then when I went to say that I was going to tell my brothers and sisters about it,
Oh, God.
she said, "Oh no, you're not." And I said, "Oh yes, I am." So they was all in bed, right? They come running out the rooms and stuff. We was arguing so much. My mother got a belt like she was gonna beat me, right?
Oh,
I'm saying to
God.
myself, "Now what do I do? I know I ain't gonna sit here and let her beat me."
We marched on Washington and questioned Vietnam. This was the revolution, the changing of our times.
Sister Paula X, Philadelphia chapter of the Black Panther Party.
Nana Akuya Enum Oyemi Niamiche of the Baltimore chapter of the Black Panther Party.
Barbara Easley Cox, San Francisco, Oakland, Philadelphia, and international section of the Black Panther Party.
Ethel Paris, Philadelphia and California chapter. In the Philadelphia chapter, I was called Cold Steel.
Gladys Anderson, Hearn, Philadelphia chapter of the Black Panther Party.
I came into the party as first a community worker. To be a community worker was to come into the party and you filled out the application and then they gave you some papers, you sold the papers, you had some different rules and regulations you had to learn verbatim, you had to learn the 10-point platforming program. And it took approximately about a 6-month period of time before you actually went into becoming an actual rank and file member of the Black Panther Party.
Separation of the sexes. We could not do female push-ups. We had to do the regular push-ups like men. There was no separation. We had to run 2 miles. You had to run it. I experienced everything brothers did. I had to do.
Same thing.
We had no separation.
We had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning
That's right.
and do physical education.
That's right. Right. You know.
In fatigue.
Our ranks rose in numbers, our heroes rose in names. Malcolm, Martin, Eldridge, Huey, Eldridge Cleaver. We made history quiver.
The Black Panther Party Party was part of history. We are not the only history. We are a continuation of struggle since the first slave put his foot in America.
That's right.
We questioned. We let all know what was our goal through leaflets, stickers, television, buttons, radio.
I reflect back on the rallies, the wonderful demonstrations and rallies that we've had during the legacy of the party, the living legacy of the Black Panther Party, particularly one of the largest being that of the Free Huey movement. And we stayed focused on that movement until we actually freed Huey P. Newton. And how our struggle continues, and often we say, allude to continuity, the struggle continues.
Off the pig! No more brothers in jail! Off the pig! The pigs are gonna catch hell! Off the pig! No more brothers in jail! Off the pig! No more pigs in our community! Off the pig! No more pigs in our community! Off the pig! No more pigs in our community! Off the pig! No more pigs in our community! Off the pig! No more pigs in our
This.
Also, I'd just like to talk about the fact that the Black Panther Party aligned themselves with a lot of organizations. We were supportive to the Palestinian Liberation Organization. We were supportive to the farm workers. We also supported the People's Park, all different demonstrations that was going on in the colleges. We were there. We also had alliances with other organizations such as the Red Guard, which was the Asian organization, the Brown Berets was the Puerto Rican, Latin organizations. There were White Panthers, the white people. I mean, it was about people of color.
Not white Panthers. Not Panthers.
Not white,
Oh,
no,
gray
but
Panthers.
the Gray Panthers, well, they called themselves, there was a few of them, and they called themselves that because white people wanted to kind of also be part of the struggle. They had their other organizations, what was it called, the Weathermen or whatever, but it was about oppressed people against the system. You know, it wasn't just about Black African Americans, it was about all people against this system because that's what this system uses to oppress us, is that division. You know,
But black people were the vanguard
we were the
of
vanguard,
the movement in this country.
The Black Panther Party always said black people for black people, white people for white people, red people for red people.
brown
So the
people
Black
for
Panther
brown
Party was an organization that served the people in general, but it was a black people's organization.
If it had not been for Huey P. Newton, free health clinics would not be in the process of being implemented in the black community. If it had not been for Huey P. Newton, the 10-point platform and program of the Black Panther Party would not begin to be implemented by the people, and not only black people, because the Chinese Americans, the Red Guard, has copied the same 10-point platform and program, and they got a right to it. An Indian American organization, NARP, named NORP, has copied the same 10-point platform and program of the Black Panther Party, and they got a right to it. We're just waiting for this racism to break down when we see the poor white Appalachians up in the mountains copy the same 10-point platform and program and go forth to destroy the Nixons, the Reagans, and the pig Aliotos. And let me say one thing to the white people in the audience. Now, you know, Bobby has been saying for a long time, we will not fight racism with racism. We refuse to stoop to the level of a racist to hate somebody because of the color of his skin. Well, that's fine. But I see a lot of white people walking around and say, oh, good. Now the Black Panther Party don't hate me. I can go on about my business. That's a cop-out, brothers. And if you act like that, the Black Panther Party will hate you. Not because you're white, but because you ain't taking care of business to organize other people. Teach them the need to support the black liberation movement led by the Black Panther Party as a strong, fearless voice against American imperialism, and to link up with all the people in Vietnam, in China, in Cuba, in Angola, in Latin America, and everywhere else who are standing shoulder to shoulder to drive this vicious beast out of the way and out of the pages of history. When the party says power to the people, we ain't jiving a pound. We say power to the people.
Were there a group called the White Panthers?
Of course. There was a group called the White Panther Party. Yes, it was.
Come to some of the rallies.
Used to come to some of the rallies. The organization was started by a college student up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. His name is John St. Clair. He started the White Panther Party because he respected what the Black Panther Party did, and that organization grew in different communities in like Detroit, in Cleveland, and there was a White Panther Party.
We made alliances with third world countries. We made Easter eggs and Christmas trees vanish back into the minds that made them. We were bad. We were bad. We were bad.
To Gladys and Monte Hearn, because the thing that was very important to me, Gladys, was your marriage. And it's mentioned in Mumir's book, We Want Freedom. He shows a picture of their marriage.
Right.
And for me, coming from the West Coast.
You're saying the marriage because it occurred in the Black Panther Party?
Yes, because it was the first time I saw a moral commitment. See, and we can sit here and talk about morals and this happened to that one. I don't know nothing about it. But I recognized that getting married was not about being the same as the system. For me, you set tradition of your own, and I thought your wedding and the things that happened at your wedding was very positive because you committed love to the people, struggle for the people.
Revolutionary wedding.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
And that was very important. Since then, how many people can we talk about that actually are still together?
One thing I always appreciate about the principles of the party in relationship to vows and the bond between a Panther man and a Panther woman based on marriage is that the rest of the comrades had to respect that marriage, had to respect that bond. And that was important. So, yes, our marriages were non-traditional in a sense because we refuted many of the vows and traditional ways of America. But at the same time, we maintained some of those traditions as it related to moral values in relationship to respecting that of a husband and a wife. We also one thing that was added to that was that husband and wife still had free will. So if Monte or Gladys decided that they wanted to relate, which was the word we used in the party as relates to sexual involvement with someone else, it was totally up to the individual to say, I want to go and relate to another brother or relate to another sister. But the two that were bonded in marriage would have to inform the other mate that they, in fact, desired to have a relationship with another Panther in the party. And it was, in fact, respected. And in that same sense, if you rejected a person, that had to also be respected.
Well, I would have to say that my experience has been quite different. Because I joined in California. If you were married, like you said, that was respected. And people didn't have to relate to anyone that they didn't want, decide to. But if you were a single woman, which I was at the time, in fact, I was a single teenager. And it was said that if the person liked you or wanted to have a relationship with you or sex with you, then you had to comply. And I basically did it because I did comply with someone that wanted to have sex with me because I didn't want to get put out of the Black Panther Party because the Black Panther Party to me was my life.
Like I said, I wasn't a female, but through my observation, I seen that women in the East Oakland chapter of the Black Panther Party was not treated equally. And at the very beginning, the tactics that were used on a lot of sisters was unprincipled because the motivation behind it was to gain sex or to gain favoritism with sisters in the party. But there was a lot of male chauvinism used in the incorrect manner where men took advantage of women on a sexual basis at the beginning. Because people wasn't really using the principles of the Black Panther Party for the service of the people or the organization. They were using some principles for their own self-indulgence, And that dealt with taking advantage of women in the Black Panther Party by holding principles over their heads, using policies that were unfair. So a lot of that was rooted out at the party, but I got to tell you the truth that it existed in the party at the very beginning. And there was a lot of women driven away from the Black Panther Party because of that.
And to think that our efforts have come to a close is a horrible nightmare that seems to explode.
How our struggle continues, and often we say allude to continuity, the struggle continues, because today it's brick by brick, wall by wall, we're going to free Mumia Abu-Jamal and all political prisoners. So our struggle indeed continues.
Brick by brick, wall by wall, we're going to free Eddie Conway, and we're going to free them all. We have political prisoners that are still down. We have Russell Schultz. We have Santiago Colai. We still have the Angola 3, which is Angola 2 because King is out, but the Angolan brothers are still there. We have Chip Romaine Fitzgerald. We have many comrades that are down, numerous numbers of comrades, and we must always hold their names up. We must always keep them in the forefront. What brought me here to Philadelphia was Mumia's rally yesterday, or day before yesterday. And Mumia is now in line for a new trial, and it's only the will of the people that's going to be able to bring that about. So even though 40 some odd years ago I served as a rank and file member of the Black Panther Party, I still stand today as a veteran Panther who knows that it is still my responsibility to keep going and keep it going until all of my comrades that are incarcerated are free. And our comrade Asada, who's out of the country, she needs to be home here with us, and we will not rest until she is free. Brother DC, who's exiled, we will not rest till he's free.
I wanted to speak on this question of people being in exile. My husband has been in exile for 37, 38 years. During that time, I traveled to France and different parts of Europe. And what has happened, I've run across more and more African brothers, African Americans, women and men who are in exile. Some of them were hijackers, but they struggled the same way the Black Panther Party struggled, was to help the people. So political prisoners we have. Comrades who have passed on, we have, but we have a large number of people in exile. Mm-hmm. And I will say this to you, exile is a bitter pill, self-imposed or forced upon you.
I'd like to talk about Frederick Burton, which is also a political prisoner in Philadelphia, the Philly Five. What are the other
San
brothers?
Francisco 8?
With Russell Schultz and the Joyner brothers, and that situation, people have to rally around. We as African Americans have to recognize that we have political prisoners in America.
Yes.
This does exist.
Being a Black Panther, you represent something, and you represent something to this day.
Absolutely.
People talk about, oh, I used to be a Panther. I said, well, she must have sold 2 papers.
Right.
Because there's certain things that Panthers do, and you have reaffirmed it today. Mm-hmm. And it's about the people. Mm-hmm. So the Panther Party
take
created.
a needle or a piece of thread from the man.
Yes,
That's
and
what
it
we
created
still
us.
maintain
It
I
created
love that.
us.
That was my favorite
Yes.
thing from the from Mal.
Mal,
You
that's
know,
right,
from the
Red Book.
Don't
That's
take
right.
I don't know.
Or,
Mine's is my favorite was serving the people.
Serving.
Body and soul.
Body and
And,
soul. Serving the people, body
if
and
you
soul.
don't investigate and study, you have
No
no
right
right
to
to
speak.
speak. I was always
Yeah,
on
no
that one.
investigation.
A true
no right to speak.
revolutionary.
That's right.
True revolutionary is capable of great feelings of love that guided me and helped me through the party days and all that crap that
Yes,
went on.
that went
Because
on.
I loved the people.
Yeah.
We
Shay,
all did.
Shay.
We did everything
And that was
for
it.
free.
That was
And the teens of today, they rap mighty bad and get smothered into the latest fad.
I don't care what anybody says. The most important thing are children
Yes.
and the young people that are
That's
coming
important.
behind us.
Yes.
Because I'm willing to step out the way. Force the board. Take it up the mantle. Like this young lady we have here today who has volunteered to work in our bookstore, Kiana. Hi, Kiana.
Will they ever be able to break